Hi, this is Nick at North Central Illinois Custom Kydex. I'll talk real quick. It's not going to be a short video, probably going to be at least 15 minutes, but I want to talk about some new stuff we're coming out with here for the competition world. First off, I want to talk about our custom competition holster hanger. It's a two-part product. The first part, kind of the core of it, is the machined aluminum belt clamp, available for different width belts. This one is for a 2-inch belt. Also available for a 1.5-inch belt, 1 3/4-inch belt, whatever you're running. And then the other piece is the T-bracket adapter plate for your holster. This is available in this Safariland belt pattern, which I like because it spreads the force, the weight of your gun and the draw force out more. But it's also available for your standard Blade Tech style, Blade Tech, CompTech, Blackhawk, all kind of use that same pattern. So you order it for the shell holster pouch that you have, or if you're ordering a whole setup from us, I do recommend the Safariland, a little bit more stable. Very simple to put together. The T-bracket bolts to your holster pouch just like whatever other belt mount you may have ran in the past. And then it bolts to the belt hanger just with some simple spacers, which can be or will be available in different lengths to adjust how far out from your body it rides. And then the 2 machine screws. It's very simple. You just drop the screw in the hole you want to use. It's adjustable for height. Okay, so figure out about where you want it. We'll put it in that screw hole right there. And when you're putting this together, you can mock it up a time or two. Don't forget the spacer. But once you figure out how you're going to run it, as always, Loctite, blue Loctite. This is just threading into aluminum, so you don't want to get too crazy on the torque. Just use some Loctite to keep it from coming loose. Slide your other spacer in the bottom. Take your screw with the lock washer, wiggle that through, thread that in. This one you can put a little extra force on just so the lock washer bites in. You can see where you could adjust it for cant there. Then you simply clamp it on your belt for flat machine screws there. So you can see this ready to go. It's specific here so that it clears the hood on this particular holster. So you can come in, clear the hood, draw the gun, and it doesn't interfere with the mount. But this is an unbelievably solid, rigid mount to the belt. These will be on our website soon. We are taking pre-orders, so you can contact me for information. They are going to go for $45 shipped. There will be a discount available if you order it with a holster shell, just because we'll be able to combine the shipping. So that's our competition belt hanger, holster hanger. The other product I want to talk to you about is this little disc. This was a brainstorm I had for a particular customer. Shoots 3-gun, and he wanted the ability to run his mag pouches at different cant angles. And there's different ways that you can do this, but I wanted something that was adjustable, kind of adjustable on the fly, but I mean, once you get it set up, you're not really going to want to be playing with it too much. But what you see here is this disc will allow you to rotate your mag pouch, and then simply moving the screws to different holes will give you a full 360 degrees of rotation. So when you buy this, or if you get this, you're going to get this disc, and it will have this center post more or less permanently affixed into this, and you'll see why in a minute. You'll also get the hardware. There'll be these short little binding posts. So if you're setting this up, just simply drop these into the slots. You can see where they'll rotate. And then just to make things easier on yourself, take a couple small pieces of masking tape and just put a small piece of masking tape right over those. That's just to keep them from falling out as you're putting everything else together. Alright, so that'll hold those from falling out. And take your holster pouch. Now, these are specific for the holster pouch that has to have our bolt pattern on here to work. I'm not sure if they would retrofit to other holster pouches or not. Holster pouches aren't really, for the most part, they're not very what's the word I'm looking for? They're not standardized. I believe, this will bolt to a Tek-Lok, okay, using these 3 holes. So if your holster pouch will bolt to a Tek-Lok in that fashion, these should work for you. But anyway, moving on. The reason we taped those on is because to install this, you have to flip it over, and we don't want those falling out and, bouncing under your workbench, never to be seen again. So you just kind of set that on there with the holes lined up. Put your binding posts in from the rear through the inside of the mag pouch. We're just going to start the screws here a couple turns until we get all 3 in. That allows us to kind of move things around if we need to. This will ship with all the hardware, the binding posts, these flat screws, which we use in this application because it keeps everything flush so you don't have anything hanging up when you're trying to rotate your, or adjust your cant angle. Again, Loctite. I'm just putting these together for the purpose of the video. I'm shipping this tomorrow, so I'll just have to take it back apart and Loctite it. But anyway, once you get the 3rd one in, you can go ahead and snug them up. Again, no reason to be crazy tight on these. Just snug them up and then let your Loctite set. One other point, since I'm mentioning it, when you buy this, we do ship them with this Vibratite, kind of the one-use little packets. It's important to read the directions because this is not Loctite. It does work differently. The way it works is you have to take all your screws and apply that to them and then let them dry for a period of time. The directions say 10 to 30 minutes. Okay, once it's dry, then you assemble them. And basically that allows you a fastener that you can tighten and loosen repeatedly, but it won't shake loose on its own. Anyway, moving on. So we've got this now. I'm going to take your Tek-Lok, however you want to orient it. The center post is line up with the center hole in the Tek-Lok. Now here we usually use the oval head screws. It doesn't really matter. You can use flat heads, but we'll probably ship it with the oval heads because that's kind of what Blade-Tech uses. They sink down into the Tek-Lok recesses just fine. Now what you'll notice on this, you don't want to tighten it, over tighten it, because you don't want to break loose that steel post that we had in there. But you can see what you have here is full rotation. Okay, now if you kind of figure out how you want this to sit on your belt, okay, this particular client wants one straight up and down more or less, so we'll kind of put this one straight up and down, which luckily lines up with that post that we have riding in that slot. So we'll just start that screw since it's right there. Remember, that post is just being held in with that masking tape, so don't get too crazy on it. Once you get a few turns, you can go ahead and pull the tape off and then tighten this up the rest of the way. You may need to be creative, use a small flathead screwdriver like so, and just keep that post from moving until you get it snugged up. Alright. Now once you get it snugged up, you know, you don't need to go any tighter than that. On the other side here, looks like we're really close to our binding post here too. On this side actually, with the retention adjustment side, you can see you can more or less get your finger in here. This is the side, the main reason why I recommend using that masking tape, because if you flip this over right now, this binding post will just fall out, and it can be a little tricky to finagle back in. But line it up with the hole, get your screw, and now you can get your finger on the back of this one, so you can tighten this one down fairly easily. Okay, and then you just clamp it on your belt like you would any other Tek-Lok. If and when you need to adjust your retention, take it off the belt, loosen the two outside screws, just a couple of turns each, rotate it to the new desired position, and lock it down. If you need to get more rotation than what you're being allowed here, you just take these screws out and you can move them to any of these other holes and continue to move these slots around your belt. But that is our competition mag pouch cant adjustment rotation plates. These are going to sell for about $25 a piece shipped, but they will be available in 3-packs and 5-packs with an appropriate discount applied. So that's what I want to show you tonight, some of our aluminum competition gear, so you can see how nice it looks on there, especially with this red carbon fiber and our black hardware, and our competition holster hanger. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. It's nick@nickydx.com. Thanks a lot.